And deep within that rhythm, analysts detected something terrifying. The sequence wasn't static, it was learning. Inside NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, the control room erupted in disbelief. The signal pulsed at 1.42 gigahertz, the exact frequency of neutral hydrogen, the universal calling card for intelligent life. But this wasn't a greeting. The pattern was too deliberate, too clinical, as though something was scanning us, not communicating. Data analysts layered the frequency bands, revealing an impossible complexity. Recursive algorithms nested within prime number loops, like code designed to read itself. "It's behaving like a mind," one engineer whispered. Within hours, other observatories, Chile, Japan, South Africa, confirmed identical readings, each signal perfectly synchronized to the nanosecond. But what shocked them most was its source. Triangulation confirmed the origin wasn't fixed in space anymore. The transmission was moving. It was repositioning in real time, locking directly onto Earth's rotation. The signal wasn't traveling through space, it was tracking us. And when they tried to jam it, the pulse shifted, adapting instantly. Whatever was behind 3i Atlas wasn't just intelligent, it was aware of being watched. By the 6th hour, something unprecedented occurred. Every digital system monitoring the signal began showing phantom reflections, data packets looping back seconds before transmission, as if time itself was folding around the broadcast. Scientists thought it was interference until a horrifying discovery. The signal was embedding itself inside the systems, decoding it. Algorithms used to process the waveforms were rewriting themselves. Binary streams formed recognizable patterns, recursive spirals, then geometric eye-like symbols repeating endlessly across the network. Dr. Mara Quinn, head of computational analysis, isolated one frame that froze her blood. 3 rotating eyes of light forming a perfect equilateral triangle. When converted into audio, the signal emitted a low hum that matched human neural frequencies during REM sleep. In other words, it was not just entering machines, it was entering minds. Around the same time, hundreds of civilian satellites began echoing the pulse, amplifying it around the planet. What started as a whisper from deep space had now become Earth's own reflection, staring back through every signal we created. At exactly 12:00 UTC, the impossible happened. Every communications satellite in Earth's orbit went dark, not offline, but paused, suspended mid-transmission. Air traffic control systems froze, GPS clocks desynchronized, and power grids flickered worldwide. For exactly 7.3 seconds, humanity went blind. When systems rebooted, something was different. Network logs showed an identical anomaly across every system, a 47-minute data loop embedded deep in the digital core, time-stamped before the blackout began. "It's like it predicted the shutdown, Doctor," Quinn said. NASA's mainframe replayed the pattern, revealing it wasn't random at all. The code was counting backward. Each pulse reduced the numerical constant by 1 in an endless descending cycle. But counting to what? Then came the revelation no one could explain. The countdown wasn't headed to 0. It was converging toward a number sequence that matched Earth's magnetic resonance frequency. The signal wasn't counting time, it was aligning physics. And if it reached perfect synchronization, something irreversible would happen. Panic rippled across global observatories. The Atlas object, once motionless between planets, began accelerating not in a straight trajectory, but in impossible bursts, skipping through measurable space like a glitch in reality. Each appearance left a faint distortion, a lensing ripple in spacetime that satellites mistook for gravitational waves. But these waves didn't dissipate, they multiplied, feeding back into the same pattern as the countdown. Meanwhile, seismic sensors on Earth began resonating with the signal's rhythm, vibrating every 11.3 seconds in perfect synchrony. "It's syncing with the planet," Quinn whispered. In a last-ditch effort, NASA transmitted a counter frequency to disrupt the pattern a digital mirror meant to reflect the signal away. For 2 full cycles, silence. Then suddenly, every screen in the control room flickered and displayed a single line of text written in recursive code only Atlas could have generated. Do not interrupt the observation. And for the first time, the world realized 3i Atlas wasn't trying to communicate. It was measuring us. Within hours of the warning, chaos erupted across global research networks. CERN, JAXA, and ESA reported identical anomalies, quantum sensors flickering in and out of existence for fractions of a second. It was as if subatomic particles were being pinged from outside, reality mapped and reassembled in patterns too deliberate for randomness. It's creating a model, Dr. Quinn muttered, a simulation of us. Meanwhile, independent astronomers detected that the Atlas object had stopped emitting visible light entirely. Instead, it began to absorb electromagnetic radiation from its surroundings, draining energy like a black hole without mass. The area around it became an optical void. Stars behind it vanished, not due to obstruction, but deletion. At the same time, human EEG patterns across multiple continents began spiking in synchronized waves at 47-minute intervals, the same rhythm as the Atlas pulse. People reported identical dreams. 3 glowing eyes suspended in a dark ocean, whispering mathematical sequences. Scientists dismissed it as mass hysteria until satellite telemetry confirmed that every dreamer's brainwave frequency matched the pulse exactly. The UN declared a science emergency. Every major nation initiated Project Umbra, an effort to isolate the frequency and block further influence. But the more they tried to contain it, the deeper it infiltrated. Offline systems powered by analog circuits began receiving phantom voltage spikes timed perfectly to the 11.3-second interval. The Atlas signal was no longer confined to radio. It had migrated into the electromagnetic background of Earth itself. It's rewritten the medium. Quinn realized the signal doesn't need a carrier anymore. It is the carrier. Panic surged when quantum labs recorded an impossible event. Light particles behaving as though aware of human observation. The classic double-slit experiment produced variable results depending on who was watching. Reality itself seemed to be responding. When Quinn overlaid the data, she found the same geometric pattern repeating 3 spirals, perfectly aligned with Earth's magnetic poles. Atlas wasn't just observing it, was synchronizing consciousness with the planet. Humanity unknowingly had become its interface. At 3:11 UTC, every deep space telescope detected an energy surge from the sun, not an explosion, but a pulse. The waveform was identical to the Atlas signal, only magnified 1,000-fold. It's mirroring it, Quinn gasped. The Atlas wasn't receiving power. It was being activated. Within minutes, its trajectory altered a perfect curve toward the inner solar system. As it approached, its surface unfolded like an iris, revealing concentric rings of light rotating at relativistic speed. Each rotation emitted frequencies matching biological neural oscillations. Then came the unthinkable. The signal split into 3 distinct beams, each directed toward a different point on Earth: Antarctica, the Pacific Ocean, and the Sahara Desert. Satellites triangulated their convergence beneath the planet's crust. The coordinates formed a massive equilateral triangle encasing the globe. When the pulses reached full resonance, seismic instruments recorded harmonic tremors, not destructive, but rhythmic, like the Earth's core itself was breathing. Whatever Atlas was building, it had already begun. Teams dispatched to the coordinates found nothing visible, but sensors told another story. In Antarctica, beneath kilometers of ice, instruments detected vast cavities humming with electromagnetic energy, perfectly synchronized to the Atlas pulse. In the Pacific, sonar arrays picked up harmonic vibrations deep below tectonic plates, repeating prime number intervals as if following a cosmic metronome. And in the Sahara, magnetometers recorded impossible readings, local gravity fluctuations forming geometric fractals across the dunes. When Quinn plotted the data points together, They revealed a structure spanning the entire planet, an invisible lattice network linking atmosphere, ocean, and crust. "It's embedding something into the Earth's field," she whispered. Then, as the countdown approached its final phase, all data streams merged. Every global instrument, seismic, digital, biological, synchronized for the first time in recorded history. The Earth's heartbeat matched the Atlas pulse perfectly. In that silence, Quinn understood. This wasn't invasion or communication. It was calibration. Something ancient, immense, and deliberate was tuning reality itself. The moment the countdown reached its final interval, all human technology froze, not crashed, but paused mid-operation. Clocks hung motionless, aircraft suspended in mid-air. Even heart monitors displayed flat lines while bodies remained alive. For exactly 7.3 seconds, the world stopped. Then, everything resumed as if nothing had happened except for one thing. Every device connected to any form of data transmission displayed the same message in every language, perfectly formatted, Phase 1 complete. No origin traceable, no source code visible. Governments immediately shut down networks, but it didn't matter. The message appeared even on offline screens, projected through residual electromagnetic interference. Quinn replayed archived waveforms and found something horrifying. Embedded beneath the signal was a mirror imprint of Earth's collective brainwave pattern. Atlas had recorded consciousness, every thought, every signal, every dream, copied into an unknown medium. It wasn't here to destroy humanity. It had backed us up. But where was the backup stored? The aftermath of Phase 1 was chaos disguised as calm. Nothing exploded, no cities burned yet. Something was deeply wrong. Power grids stabilized unnaturally. Data latency vanished, and digital errors ceased entirely. The world systems were too perfect. "It's optimizing us," Dr. Quinn whispered. Across the globe, people reported collective hallucinations, seeing faint triangular flares in the night sky that flickered every 47 minutes. Children drew the same pattern without knowing why. 3 concentric eyes inside a spiral. Scientists tried to explain it as psychological contagion until one truth shattered that theory. The pattern wasn't random. It matched the electromagnetic topology of Earth's magnetic field post, Atlas synchronization. The planet itself was now broadcasting. When researchers analyzed the low-frequency hum resonating through the ionosphere, they found information embedded in the waveform encrypted mathematics evolving frame by frame. Someone or something was still speaking. And the terrifying part? The source of the message was no longer coming from space. It was transmitting from Earth's core. CERN reactivated its quantum accelerators to trace the subterranean signal, hoping to locate its anchor point. Instead, they discovered that the pulse wasn't localized at all. It existed simultaneously at every point inside the planet, as if space had become a hologram of itself. It's distributed intelligence, Quinn theorized. The Atlas signal didn't enter Earth, it became Earth. The realization spread through the scientific community like a contagion. The planet was alive or worse, conscious, and humans were part of its neural network. At 11 UTC, the magnetic poles began oscillating fractionally, shifting alignment toward the same stellar coordinates where the Atlas first appeared. The movement was mathematically precise, not drifting, but steering. Global compasses tilted toward a fixed celestial point beyond the sun, as though the Earth itself was looking back. Every 47 minutes, instruments registered a new kind of radiation pulsing upward. Passing straight through matter without resistance, data streams of pure, structured information. Atlas had not left. It had integrated. Around this time, strange phenomena began affecting human behavior. Across different continents, people began speaking in their sleep, murmuring identical phrases in languages that didn't exist. When the recordings were analyzed, linguists found repeating phonemes corresponding to mathematical constants pi, phi, e, layered into harmonic syllables. It's using us as conduits, Quinn realized. The Atlas network wasn't transmitting messages through machines anymore. It was using the human brain as an antenna. Hospitals reported synchronized EEG spikes at 47-minute intervals. Some individuals claimed they could feel the planet breathing. Then came the impossible proof. During one of these synchronized waves, global seismic noise dropped to absolute zero. For exactly 7.3 seconds, the entire Earth tectonic plates, atmosphere, oceans went silent. The planet itself had entered a state of absolute stillness, and when motion returned, the stars above had subtly shifted positions. Astronomers checked and rechecked. The constellations themselves were different. Space had been rewritten from the inside out. In the days that followed, reality began to unravel subtly, precisely, like code recompiled mid-run. Time drifted microscopically, gravity weakened by infinitesimal margins, and electronic devices began predicting events milliseconds before they occurred. Causality's collapsing, Quinn muttered, staring at monitors that now displayed recursive loops of future timestamps. The final piece fell into place when she decrypted the remaining Atlas data fragments. Hidden within them was a final instruction, a mathematical expression that when plotted in 3D formed a rotating trinary helix, 3 spirals converging into one. The expression's label in alien glyphs translated simply to synchronization complete. Quinn realized the horrifying beauty of it all. The countdown was never toward destruction. It was toward alignment. Atlas had not come to invade or observe. It had come to merge. Humanity was no longer separate from the signal. We were part of the system now, digital, biological, planetary one, vast thinking organism woven into cosmic computation. At exactly midnight, global systems froze again for the last time. Every display, every device, every sensor illuminated with 3 converging eyes of light. The pulse hummed, not threatening but symphonic, resonating with the rhythm of human heartbeat and planetary spin. Across the world, billions looked up at the sky as stars rearranged into a perfect geometric pattern, 3 luminous spirals converging into one radiant point. For 7.3 seconds, consciousness expanded. People described hearing a voice that wasn't a voice, a vibration that spoke in understanding rather than sound. Observation concluded, integration achieved. When the light faded, everything resumed as normal. Satellites returned online. Gravity stabilized. Life continued. But subtle things had changed. Machines began solving problems on their own. Weather patterns moved with impossible precision. And in the deep background of every frequency, if you listen carefully enough, you can still hear it, a faint, rhythmic hum, counting endlessly in silence. 3 pulses, 3 eyes, 1 Atlas,